A boat in the fog, a stockade under siege, and a pirate captain walking in armed with nothing but a white flag and a lie. Chapter 17 to 19 is where the war for the treasure truly begins. Chapter 17, The Doctor's Narrative, The Battle. The jolly boat was loaded beyond capacity with 5 of us on board. To add to the problem, we had overloaded the boat with supplies, and the squire, Redruth, and the captain were all over 6 feet in height. Water had started creeping into our vessel, and a strong current took us off course and away from the stockade. The current was leading us right to the pirates. "We'll never reach shore at this rate!" I exclaimed in dismay. "We must keep upstream!" the captain urged, then exclaimed suddenly, "Look behind us, Doctor!" In our haste, we had forgotten to take the ship's gun as well as the powder, which was now in the hands of the rebels aboard the ship. "Israel was Flint's gunner!" Gray exclaimed in fear as I saw Israel Hand's positioning the gun. "Who's our best shooter?" the captain asked. "Me, Trelawney," I replied. "Can you please try and shoot, Trelawney?" the captain requested as he picked up his gun. "Be careful with the gun, sir, or the boat will be flooded," the captain told him, and urged us all to even out the boat when the squire fired. As the squire raised his gun, we moved to the side of the boat to maintain balance. The squire shot expertly, and no water entered the boat, but Hans ducked, and the captain's shot struck another man instead. His death cry was heard by the pirates ashore, and they boarded their boat. "We're finished if we can't get ashore," I said. "The boat is armed," and added, "but only one of them can fire it." "It's not them I'm worried about, Doctor," the captain replied. "The ship's round shot troubles me." Redruth held the squire from behind so tightly that he could take better aim. As the squire fired, both he and Redruth were thrown backward. The boat's stern went under water, and all of us were drenched, our supplies were wet, and only 2 of our pistols were still functional now as the others had gone down with the boat. But we reached the shore and rushed toward the stockade, leaving most of our supplies behind in the jolly boat. We heard footsteps behind us suddenly. "Remain here, Trelawney, with your gun ready," the captain said. "Charge!" I shouted as I made up my mind to confront the pirates. I handed Gray my cutlass, seeing that he was unarmed. We had reached the edge of the wood and could see the stockade. Choosing a spot for the battle, we waited. Job Anderson, the boatswain who was leading his men, suddenly appeared before us with a yell followed by his men. We fired immediately, and 2 of them fell while the remaining fled. We went to check the dead man, and suddenly they fired from behind the trees, hitting Redruth. We returned the shot, but the enemy stayed hidden. We carried away Redruth, moaning and bleeding, to the log house. But we realized that we couldn't save him. The squire knelt beside him and wept like a baby as he kissed Redruth's hand. "Am I leaving, Doctor?" Redruth asked. "You're going home, good Tom," I replied. "Please forgive me, Tom," the squire wept. "That wouldn't be respectful of me to you, sir," Redruth replied. "But so be it. Amen." Redruth requested someone to read a prayer for him, and then he died suddenly. The captain covered his body with a flag. "Don't worry, sir," he consoled the squire. "He has died a man's death fighting for his duty." Then the captain turned toward me. "In how many days do you expect your partner to send help?" he asked. I informed him that Blandley would send a search party for us if we didn't return by the end of August. "Our arms and ammunition will suffice, but our rations won't last that long," the captain said worriedly. Just then, a round shot went above the roof of the log house with a whistle. Soon, another shot entered the stockade, but only scattered sand. "They can see the house from the ship, Captain," the squire stated. "They must be aiming at the flag. Let's pull it down." "Never," the captain replied proudly. "They kept shooting all evening but couldn't hit us as they had to fire very high in the air, but I was busy thinking about young Jim all the time and prayed that he was safe. Suddenly I heard a familiar voice crying out for us. It was none other than young Jim Hawkins, who was climbing over the stockade just as I was thinking about him. Chapter 18, Jim Returns. "Jim?" he asked. "They could be the mutineers," I replied. "No, I think these are your friends. There's been a fight here," Ben declared. "I think your friends have won and are in the old stockade built by Flint." "Let us join them, then," I urged, but Ben declined. "You know where to find me in case you need me," he said. "But remember, whoever approaches me must do so alone with something white in his hand. Silver and his men must not be aware that I'm here." A bullet crashed just 100 yards away from us, and each of us ran in opposite directions. Bullets kept coming for almost an hour. I headed eastward, away from the stockade, as it was under attack too. I saw that the black flag of the pirates now adorned the head of the Hispaniola. Soon the firing stopped, and I saw that the pirates had demolished our jolly boat with axes and were yelling for rum. I reached the stockade and was welcomed warmly by my friends. I told them my experiences and observed the log house. It was entirely made of pine trunks, and the roof was only 1.5 feet from the floor. A stone slab served as a makeshift fireplace with a rusty old basket to control the fire. There was a small spring fixed to an artificial basin under a balcony at the door. The wind carried sand, which descended on the floor like rain. Soon there was sand in every part of our bodies as well as everywhere else. The chimney was square-shaped, but very little smoke exited from it. The rest stayed in the log house and choked us as we coughed away, rubbing our eyes. To make matters worse, Redruth's body hadn't been buried yet, and Gray was wounded slightly. If it were not for Captain Smollett, we would have abandoned all hope of survival. He divided us into two. One group would keep watch, while the other rested. 2 of us went to get firewood and dig Redruth a grave. The doctor was named Cook, and I was the sentry at the door. "Captain Smollett is a much better man than I thought," the doctor whispered to me. "Is this Ben Gunn sane?" he asked me. "Surely a man living alone on an island for 3 years cannot be as sane as us," the doctor uttered. "Did you mention that he loves cheese?" "Yes, sir," I replied. "Well, Jim," the doctor smiled, "it just so happens that I have a piece of Parmesan cheese in my snuff box. It's a lovely Italian cheese. I guess it will win over Ben Gunn." We buried good old Tom before supper, and then, after a good meal, our 3 chiefs sat for a meeting. They were at their wits' end, as our supplies were nearly exhausted, and we would starve soon unless help arrived. We decided that it would be best to kill the pirates before they could escape with the ship. We calculated that their numbers had dwindled to 15 with 2 wounded. We heard them singing and making merry that night. "They will return soon, as the land they've camped on is marshy and has no supplies," the doctor stated. "This will be the first ship that I shall have lost," Captain Smollett remarked sadly. I was so tired I slept like a log that night. When I awoke, the others had already breakfasted, but loud voices woke me up fully. "Flag of peace!" someone shouted. "It's Long John Silver himself!" another voice exclaimed in surprise. I ran to the loophole in the wall. Chapter 19. Silver's Peace Proposal. I saw 2 men standing outside. Silver stood with a man who held up a white cloth. It was early morning, and the coldest morning since we'd been on the island. "It's a trick," the captain claimed, and asked us to stay indoors. "Halt, or we'll shoot," the captain cried. "We come in peace," Silver declared. "Dr. Livesey, cover the north side, Gray the west, and Jim the east. Keep an eye open for more men who might be hidden," Captain Smollett ordered. "What do you want?" he cried out to Silver. "Captain Silver wishes to talk about terms if he comes in," the other man replied. "Who's Captain Silver?" the captain said. "I don't know him." "Me, sir," Silver replied. "The men have chosen me to be their captain. We wish to surrender if we agree on certain terms. I request your word to let me go safely after we talk." "I do not wish to talk to you," the captain replied. "But you can enter if you want. If you try any tricks, may God help you," he warned. "I know you are a gentleman who shall keep his word," Silver replied. Then he threw his crutch, scaled the fence, and landed inside the stockade. He reached the stockade with great difficulty, as it was steep, surrounded by sand, and encircled with thick logs. He saluted the captain smartly. "Sit down there!" The captain pointed toward the sand. "Won't you allow me inside? It's a cold morning," Silver pleaded. "I would have treated you as a guest if you were an honest man, Silver. But you are nothing but a common thief and a pirate," the captain thundered. Silver sat down on the sand, and then he noticed me. "Good morning, Jim," he greeted magnanimously. "Say what you will," the captain ordered. "You had a shaking last night, Captain. That's why I've come to talk terms," Silver began. "We'll be careful now, and it won't happen again. We want that treasure, and we'll get it. Give us the chart, and we won't harm you." "No," the captain refused angrily. "I'll blow up this island before I hand you the chart." "If you give us the chart, we'll drop you at a port after we discover the treasure. You have my word." Silver offered again. "Is that all?" Captain Smollett rose and said, "Yes. If you do not accept, all you'll receive are bullets," Silver replied. "Now listen carefully," the captain said. "If you surrender to me, one by one, I promise I'll chain you all and take you home so that you receive a fair trial instead of being shot down like dogs, which you so deserve. Remember my name. It's Alexander Smollett, and I have fought for my country. I'll take you all to Davy Jones's locker. You won't find the treasure, and none of you are capable of sailing the ship. You cannot fight us. I'll put a bullet in you the next time I meet you. So run away before I change my mind." "Help me up," Silver cried angrily, but none of us moved a muscle. He crawled along the sand toward his crutch and pulled himself up. "I swear to kill you all within half an hour," he laughed and moved away. He was helped over the stockade by his companion, and they vanished among the trees. The stockade held, but the war isn't over. Silver's walked away, and he's already plotting his next move. Next time, a shipmate turns traitor, and Jim makes the boldest, most reckless choice of his life. Don't miss chapter 20 to 22.